Here we are, waiting for the lights for the 1988 German Grand Prix here at the Hockenheim Ring. Not the worst start we've ever had, so that's something. Not a particularly high standard, though. Everyone bunch up into turn 1 and then we launch ourselves onto the long straights through the forest. Everyone seems to be calm so far, you know, not unusual. We've been trying to get to positions for the first big braking zone here at the chicane. Not sure how we're going to survive on the outside, but you gotta try. In case you're wondering, this was the Monza chicane before they put the Monza chicane in Monza. That made sense in my head. It didn't make sense anywhere else, did it? No. So anyway, we qualified 10th, I believe, in the end. As expected, most of the good turbo cars were ahead of us. Actually, all the good turbo cars were ahead of us. If you're in a turbo car and still qualified behind me, you need to start your life out. That being said, our teammate Nigel Mansell got third, actually the best of the rest behind McLaren's. So, I can't exactly be blaming the car now, can I? And the Benettons were up there because they're just doing their Benetton magic. Then there's nearly everyone else behind them because Hockenheim is all about the power. And yes, I've seen those stutterings, and that worries me because I was supposed to have fixed that, and I thought I had fixed that. But it seems that maybe it's just a thing with Hockenheim, maybe these cars, maybe this mod, I don't know. I thought I fixed that. It worked so well in the Hot Cars video. Like I had no problems at all there. Maybe this game just hates F1. There's always that possibility. So anyway, we've managed to get ourselves in no man's land, having avoided most of the shenanigans of the start. Unfortunately, it looks like we've lost or are about to soon lose any draft we got from the leading pack. So we need to hope that they race themselves. Looks like our poor teammate, after his qualifying performance, is just losing out to all these faster cars. Seems this mod anyway, either we have a very good chassis or we have a very good engine. Realistically, we should have a good chassis, but it seems this mod is, as I said before many times, this mod has given the Williams too good an engine. So at least we can hang up here. A little bit anyway. You also see how the Lotuses do not actually have a great chassis because they've got the best engine, and yet they're behind the Benettons and the Ferraris. You know, the Ferraris should have a decent race here, so they'll be wanting to get past Mansell up ahead and actually fighting up front, as this is, you know, one of their few chances. And tracks like this, that would be realistic, that they would have a good chance at tracks like this. Because the only win they got this year in real life was at Monza, which is fairly similar to this, you know, low downforce track, high speed, you know, usual. Of course, in real life, and if we were running a longer race here, reliability would be the main thing about Hockenheim, as it was legendary for destroying cars. So I guess that's where Ferrari would, you know, fall apart a little. You know, if I remember correctly, they got their Monza win because the McLarens blew up. It was less about pace and more that, you know, Monza turned out to be the car destroyer. Fortunately, these guys are fighting amongst themselves enough that we can somewhat stay in contact with them, despite not being able to go through the chicanes at any decent speed. The stuttering that has plagued the back end of this series so far has actually come into effect in practice, because if you think it's bad here in this race, it's nothing compared to what it does in a practice session. I can't Like, I can't run a practice session with the AI, which means I can't tune the AI right. So, and if that continues, there's no guarantee that the future races will be anyway balanced at all, because I'm losing patience with this. Turns out here really good setting, but that's not guaranteed in the future, especially when we're using mod tracks. Which, by the way, before you say, it's the mod tracks, that's doing it. Mod tracks nearly have less stuttering than the official tracks. This is an official track. This is the worst stuttering I've had so far in this series. Except for Magny-Cours, but Magny-Cours has always given me trouble, so maybe it's that mod track, but well, the point I'm saying is it's not as simple as mod track versus official track. It's very much individual tracks themselves. Some are better than others, and whether official or not doesn't matter. You know, you could just point to, wait, we're using the same car and all, and no wonder, there's your problem. And it probably is. Which should be unfortunate, because I like these cars. And the whole point of the series is to use this mod. As we go for opportunistic little dive here. Well, that's everything I wanted from this race. I actually managed to overtake someone in that chicane. Literally my worst corner in this whole track, and I managed to overtake someone. I managed to overtake a Honda of all things. So, woohoo! Success! Throw out the red flag. And then lock it up into the next chicane, go out wide, and well then. So much for that little pass. I've held us both up, and we've gained nothing. Nice. Wouldn't do it any other way. Anyway. That's Hockenheim. This is more or less Hockenheim. It's foot to the floor for about 10 seconds. Sharp braking. Turn. Usually turn again. And there you go. A classic track, but classic in the terms that's quite old. At least it was unique. That's literally the only compliment you can give this place. It was unique. Not like what's happened since they butchered Hockenheim. You know, where every track is literally high to medium downforce. Even Monza's reasonably high downforce for what it is. Like, yeah, Monza and Ilvinov are the only circuits like left in F1, and it's not even a recent thing. It's like, or since they butchered Hockenheim actually, there have been anyway low downforce. It's kind of hurt. It's like obviously like the tracks are different, and there is decent variety in the tracks, but it's just not. There isn't a decent variety in. There isn't the extremes. You know? Which was always funny when a few years ago the Österreich came back. And people were going, oh, it's too short. It's like, why are you complaining? We actually have a circuit that's somewhat different on the calendar. Rejoice! It's not a 20 corner 4 mile track with short radius corners. It's got short radius corners, but at least it's short. It's interesting. It's something different. Well, maybe individually it's not interesting, but at least it's something different. Of course, they could bring back the old track, and that would definitely be something different. The old Oyster Tree I'm referring to. Which, to be fair, actually, may have been unique at the time, but actually, if you put on a modern F1 calendar, it wouldn't really be that unique. Sorry, but it wouldn't. Because they've all sort of morphed into... Well, it wouldn't be unique from a set of point of view. You know. It'd be scenic. And it'd be very cool, so I wouldn't really object to it, but... You know. Do I even know what I'm rambling about anymore? I don't know, all I know, I'm losing seconds to the guys in front, which is not surprising at all. It freezes every lap at this straight, which is not surprising at all. Probably braked. I tried to say braked. I nearly went for broke it. There's many ways to put the verb to break into the past tense, and I managed to pick the two worst ones and merge them together. Ooh, clip some grass there. Oh, that tire. I give it that. That's a good chicane. It's actually somewhat interesting. I know it's a little shitty chicane, but this is somewhat interesting. Obviously not spectacular to look at all. Except when someone does what I just did there and make an absolute hames of it. Which is more or less this circuit. It's like to watch cars go through it. Not spectacular in the slightest. You might as well watch paint dry. Except if you look at onboard and then it's like, oh hell, now we got something. You drive it, it's like, hey, this is half interesting. Watched it? Nah. I see a good race, but good races will always make up for bad tracks, and good tracks can sometimes make up for bad races. It doesn't work as much the other way around. People tend to forget that. Though it never hurts. It never hurts to have a good track in a bad race. It's absolute hell to have a bad race at a poor track. But a good race will always make up for a bad track. Of course, you can argue how much impact the track has on creating the good race, but I would say nearly none, because I've seen excellent races in literal car parks. So I don't see why you need, why you need 7 miles of track perfectly laid out in interestingly, thoroughly thought out corners when literally an 1/8 of a mile oval with boring corners, no banking, can provide more entertainment than half a professional racing series can. I like that we now have a long just tire mark going into that chicane. Just a reminder every lap. Don't do that again. Don't clip that piece of grass just as it kinks. Otherwise you will lock up and you will nearly hit those tires. Because the interesting thing about this track in this game is that some of those barriers at the chicanes are deformable. They'll just foam, they'll smash, right? The tires on the other hand are like the tires everywhere else on the track, are rock solid, so just plowing your way through the barriers is not a good idea. Never recommended anyway, but you know. Oh, we've gone back to the best of the rest pack here, thanks to our little mistakes, getting sidetracked by rabble, which I don't even know what provoked that rabble, what that rabble's point was, but we rabbled, kinda. Does it count to rabble if you rabble with yourself? There's real questions. Anyway, we are now 12 seconds behind the pack ahead. Obviously skating off at the second chicane. Not good for your lap times. Who would have thought that? Probably one of my best turns through the chicane. Still incredibly slow, but what can you do about it? Well, I can see the literal flat spot on my front right tire. It's always a cool feature. Kind of underrated in this game. Is how you can just look at your tires to see what they're like. Can't do that in a lot of games. Not effectively anyway. Maybe I haven't noticed. Maybe I drive GT cars too much in other games to have the luxury of being able to look at my tires to see what's going on. Oh, yellow flag. I see cars on the wall. I think that's our teammate in the wall. Well, this is a great race, isn't it? Oh well. Now all the pressure is on me. Woo. At least they were having a race up there. or he just went off himself, which would be disappointing. But we can hope there was, you know, an epic 10-lap scrap leading up to that. Still be a disappointing way to end the scrap though, but probably less exciting if it's just probably the case that he locked up, got caught on a curb, went out into the wall. That'd be kind of boring. Except this is F1, so it probably was that. Damn, I don't give F1 a break in this series, despite it being an F1 series. I try to reel myself in somehow. I don't actually hate F1. It's not my favourite, but I don't actually hate it. Mainly because it gives us the fastest cars in the world. And you can't complain about that. Some people do. I don't understand them. But they don't understand me. Engineers are weird people. This has been established. You just look at my engineer group chat and you're like, how are these people even allowed to leave the house? We seem to be wearing through that flat spot. The vibrations are not too bad so far. Obviously you got a bit of a mark in it, but I can't see my rear tyres. See how they're doing. Of course I could always just bring up the menu that tells me what my tyres are like, but that's kind of cheating, isn't it? I think someone's missing a wheel. I see dirt over there, which I'm gonna guess that's been caused by a three-wheeled car that has failed to proceed. So it looks like we've had some form of attrition in this race, which is nice. That is literally the whole point of this track, is to destroy cars. But I think it intended to destroy them mechanically rather than have them, you know, have their drivers do stupid stuff to break the cars. God, I cannot phrase anything today, can I? Missed that. That's what I usually do in that chicane. Surprised I haven't done it more this race. It's a ridiculously tight chicane. Hate the damn thing. Yet I like that chicane for being a ridiculously tight chicane. I don't know why. Double standards, I know. Looks like a brave marshal has run out and grabbed that tyre. I was just rolling along the grass there, so that's good. Of course, that is the difference between now and then. Now we would have had at least 2 safety cars for the accidents we've seen. There could have been many more that we haven't seen. I could have also similarly brought out yellows and safety cars, but you don't get that in a lot of sim road racing. But the thing is, it's kind of a pity. Because it's like, if you... like, it's only oval racing that gets, you know, to have such things as that. You get to have fun of a yellow caution breaking things up. That means that in a short race like this, it's probably just be a hindrance. So I understand it from that point of view, but it would definitely make the longer races a bit more interesting. Managed to catch that on that curb. Just a small lockup. Everything's fine. It's not like that front wheel is already damaged or anything like that. It'll be fine. Yeah, it definitely did something to the tires. A bit more of a vibration going on here. I'm sure that's completely the wrong line for that chicane. Surely doing a little slide at the apex is not the proper way to get through there. Not an F1 car anyway. I can imagine a sports car from this era though. That would be how you would do it. How long we got left? 3 more laps-ish if I can count, which is not always guaranteed. I don't think this has been really much longer than normal races. I tuned the lap time to get a particular race time. I don't choose a lap. I tune the lap count to get a particular race time for these things. But it just felt longer. Probably because, you know, we've just gone stuck in no man's land. It's been a while since we've had something like this. It's been a while, I mean like last week. It just shows how long it's actually been since I recorded this. Since I recorded the last race. Literally been a month. I've had slightly more important things to be dealing with, but... Well, I don't mean that to be dramatic, it's just normal getting back from holiday sort of thing. So yeah. Interesting to see how Alboreto has ended up out the back of that group. We have actually seen him. We saw him a few laps ago when we were slightly closer. And he seems to be on his own. So I'm just trying to guess from the tyres and the dirt and the evidence we've seen of shenanigans that he may have got caught up in the shenanigans and didn't get much damage, but probably just spun and lost time to the leading pack, who've completely checked out. Like, they must be at least 30 seconds up the road from us. And we're what, 9th or something? Maybe, who knows. I know now. Yeah, Alberto's fallen off the back of that pack. Tires are holding out well. Not surprising in a circuit with like hardly any corners. Well, not hardly any corners, but you know, they're not exactly very taxing corners on tires. It's only really the last sector that really has fast-ish corners, and even they're not very fast. There's a long freeze. Does the game know that is really an inconvenient place to do that? Of all the straights of this track, you choose the one corner to constantly freeze up. You're not like, wait, it's literally a second later, I would have a long straight, and you know, everything will be fine. You can freeze up for days. I'd prefer if we didn't, but why? Where are we even going next? It could be either Spa or Monza. I think it's Spa next, or the Hungary, which we don't have. So I'm going to have to think of an alternative venue first, but though, long story short, if it's anything like this, we may can this thing for a while until I find an actual solution to this stuttering. Because while I seem to have eliminated it from most of the game, it still has a habit of hanging around here with this series. Very inconvenient. It could be the 26 AI. It could be the mod. It could be just this track. I don't know. Oh, I know this is very annoying. Before you ask, I don't think graphics settings really affect it. I'll be surprised if they do, because like it doesn't actual freeze. It's nothing to do with frame rate. It's literally dropping from 60 whatever it runs at to like 0. So I don't think that's a system can't handle it, or think that's just, I don't know. I actually don't know anymore. There's the wall. Good thing I never turned damage on. I would like to, but I can't, because I then have to trust the game not to throw me into the wall like that. So yeah, so if the next F1 video does not come out next week, assume I could not fix the stuttering, and this has gone on hiatus, which, knowing my history of going on hiatus means the series is dead. To be disappointed because I got nothing else planned. Oh, a little bit of a spin. One lap to go. One lap and 20 freezes later, we should see the checkered flag. As we figured out about 15 minutes ago, we're going to finish 9th. Even if the game has done its best to try crash me out and prevent us finishing 9th. Which is still advancing from where we qualified, so that's still a success. We'll just overlook the fact that my qualifying was shite in the first place. But we didn't go backwards. And we look like we belong somewhat up at the front for part of the race anyway. Prost has set the fastest lap. One of them has won, probably. And we did beat our teammate as well, so that is something. He doesn't have to deal with the game freezing. He threw it into the wall. He also had actual damage. But, you know, and I should have ripped my front wheel off with the last hit in the wall. But is it really cheating to have invincibility on if the game is actively trying to throw you into the wall? I don't think that's cheating. I think that all balances itself out. Anyway, last few corners to go and we can be done with this track, done with this race. Another one in the books. We should be approaching, if not having already passed the halfway point of this season, so getting near the business end as far as championships are concerned. Not that we've much to say in the championship, and fittingly we crossed the line in the grass, losing control. So yes, that was the 1988 German Grand Prix at the Hockenheim. Yeah, that was a race.